actually was a curator down at Riverbend Road where the museum was first. And she asked me to do an exhibit down there. So one day she come in and she said, oh, she had a meeting that night with the museum board. And she had an idea. And I said, yeah, Pam. I says, I have an idea too. So I said, well, I was thinking of making a heritage quilt depicting North Bay, an area. And then Pam's idea was to have it as a fundraiser because they wouldn't be staying at Riverbend Road, hoping that they would be able to move into a facility like what we have now. I thought, okay, what have we got around here at this little place down in Riverbend Road to start doing a sketch? And she said, sketch me something. And I said, is this for your meeting tonight? And she says, oh yes. Oh, good grief. I said, I better get started. So I handed her a little sketch and I said, well, you call me. I don't care how late it is after your meeting. There's a lot of leather because I started doing the quilt with the native people, and then I thought, well, their garments would have been doe skin, and then they had the beading on them. So I got the beads at Northwest stores here, and I said, I'm doing this quilt, and I says, I think I should have some furs. I told them it was going to be an educational piece. So they went to the back, they said, just a minute. So they come back and they gave little bits of wolf, ermine, and weasel. So I put them in all around the native people. And just, you know, you just need little bits. You don't want to overpower everything. And I tried to get leather in each section to make it uniform. And a lot of it is embroidered, and because I've embroidered since I was a little girl. And so to keep the faces and the expressions on the piece, then I thought the only way to do it is to embroider them on. And also, I was always afraid that something might happen to certain parts of the quilt. And where you see the church, you see the train, and the native people, they're done on a separate piece of cotton. So that all I needed to do, working on it, is to work on that piece. So then when it was all embroidered, I cut it out, and then I appliqued it onto the piece. Pam said, oh, you've got to have a building. And I said, oh, what building should I get? And I kept thinking, we need a church, because there's so many buildings in North Bay that are prevalent. But I thought, yes, we need the church, because after you get the logging and you get the village with the log cabins and the farming, then you need a place to worship and you need social activities. I was visiting our daughter, probably for the second or third time out in Edmonton. And she said, oh, come on, Mom. She says, we're going to visit Fort Edmonton. Well, I had no idea what Fort Edmonton was, but it was like a fair. And then lo and behold, this train, big locomotive come along. And anybody who wanted to get on, they could go for a ride around the fort. And when I saw that, I thought, that's exactly the train that I need for the quilt. So again, I wasn't that outspoken, but I needed a picture of that train. So I said, I waved to the engineer and I said, don't go yet. I says, can I take your picture? So he was quite proud of that. So he says, yeah, sure. So working on it, I thought, how am I going to applique all those little pieces? So there again, I took to my embroidery thread and I used the negative, not the colored picture. I used the negative to get the impression of different grays and blacks. Well, I hope that it would be a historical piece at the museum, and that it would be a teaching aid for tours and for children. But golly, I thought, I'm going to have to sit at this museum every day, because it's like, you know, it's part of you. It's like anybody that does a piece of art or piece of work, it's you. You're sharing it.